Hello, everybody.
Was that?
Hello.
Did you end up finding that somewhere like Value Village or something? And it was just an amazing. Oh wow.
That is
Yeah.
pretty great.
Because I remember being like, "Where?" And you're like, "Haha, the depths of a secondhand store."
Somehow something so perfect was so $2. Hey, thank you all for accommodating my schedule.
Yeah, no problem.
No problemo. Now Why am I getting double speak?
I'm
I
not
don't hear it.
But you hear it from me.
Yeah, I don't know who I'm hearing it from.
I'm
Can't
my
possibly
second Zoom is muted.
But I'm here.
So-
I'm a don't. You're live.
Oh, I am live. Look at that.
Hi. Oh no.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, valued viewers of all ages and colors. We are back for another episode of Crush Improv Plays D&D with this week with Al, Brooke, Christine, and Jordan. Dan is off in another plane of existence, doing crazy things, and
he doesn't like it.
So yeah. I hope and expect everybody will brush up on their Dan/Tergar impressions in case we need to throw a scene towards him. But yeah, how about we'll recap from last time, where you are leaving the city of Ponyard in your rearview mirror after a heinous time there. Any details you want to touch on before diving into the where we head off to next? I suppose if everybody wants to know what happened last time, there's a whole YouTube link they can watch.
We hated it there.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely low on the Yelp
Do
stars.
ships have rearview mirrors?
Well, if you mounted one and pointed it rearward, I suppose it would qualify, yeah.
All right, we're looking at through our rearward mirror.
The rearward mirror. So,
The sternward.
yes, that actually makes a lot more sense, the sternward mirror.
And we're sternly looking through it.
Yep. Everyone is pretty happy. No more than Mopey, sailor that you rescued from a very uncertain fate, to be moving on. And you are probably, well, you are, by your count, exactly 60 miles further east, heading towards Cyber. And I would like to know what you are doing on board this ship, as it is. It's got a pretty good wind. It's not going exactly the way you want, but you're making good progress. So,
How long did you say it was going to take us? 2 days?
Ship goes about 25 miles in a day. So you are on your third day of travel, which means, Brooke, you can roll some new portents if you want.
Yeah, I know this. I don't want to be too broken. So you're welcome to tell me what you'd like. But during this voyage, I think Nim's biggest thing is divination and seeing what she can learn about Grazit on the way, and she can do divination once per day. And so I know I don't want it to be too broken, so because technically I could do it 6 times.
I'll wait and see when I get that natural 20 on my portent, and then I'll do it. Yeah.
But that's genuinely what she is attempting this entire trip, is just she is in meditation mode. She is going deeply inward into her divination to just better forecast how she can help the group and how we can progress further. So I don't know how you want to address that, just as a time-saving mechanism and as a good storytelling mechanism.
Excellent.
And also hopefully as a point of information.
Yeah. Well, what I'll suggest is come up with 3 questions that you would want to ask the powers that be to get a divined answer for.
Okay, cool.
And then we'll see how that gets dealt with.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
Well, then I will put it out to the rest of you. It's not like she has a question box outside of her room, but she kind of does. She's like, what do we want to know about Grazit?
How's my divining? Call 1-800.
That's right. But yeah, I mean, technically, folks, in divination is that you can ask a single question, but again, he's going to give me 3, which is a great compromise. I love that. Regarding a specific goal, event, or activity that will occur within the next week or so. And the DM will offer a truthful reply, but it could be as a phrase, a rhyme, or an omen. So, yeah. It's not necessarily a yes or no. It can be, as long as it's just a straightforward question. Is that correct? Do you have anything to add?
The only thing I would add is I'm looking at the spell as well, and it requires 25 gold pieces worth of sacrificial offerings. So in that case, I'm going to guess it's probably literature and book materials. I see we get some lovely blast wipes there.
Sorry, my bad.
It's the magic.
It's the magic of divination, fire divination. So if you want to do it 3 times, then it'll cost you 75 gold. That I the rules in my quest to rid you of all your worldly possessions, the rules do suggest that you gotta pay $25 a pop to make that happen.
Right, which would have been far easier to do had we not done what we did. Cool, because I've only got 78 gold. And then I'm flat broke.
Since Dan's not here, do you want to know how much money he's got?
Yeah.
Yeah. He's loaded. He's got 140. So, but technically,
but we can also just do 2 or whatever. Like,
Mhm.
what are you guys thinking?
Kiergar's buying.
That's what he
this
gets
is on
not being
Kiergar.
here.
Yeah. I
Actually,
mean,
I'll allow it if somebody does it in a Dan accent, or acts Dan the part.
I'd like to purchase this on behalf of the group.
Excellent.
that's it. You know the secret to Kiergar is chin down.
Listen,
So what do we want to know then? I mean, honestly, we don't even know how to like battle him, like what his, but it has to be a question about an event, right? It's not like information about him.
are we able to at least know whether we're going to the right island?
Oh yeah, we could ask. It doesn't even have to be about
It's not
Grazit.
related
Yeah,
to Grazit,
it
but
could be like, if we maintain this course, are we going to, or like which direction should we travel if we want to meet with the Wyvern?
I believe Glanda has her hand up.
Chair
Dude.
recognizes. Well, I'm not the chair here. This is the player's
The
choice,
chair
so-
recognizes Flan.
Hello?
Yeah, we can hear you. Yep, you're on. You're
I had my hand up, and I'm sure you saw it because everybody else froze for like a full minute, and I was like, I'm frozen with my hand up, aren't I? So I feel stupid. Anyways,
no, you were live for all of us. We were watching you wait to be recognized.
really?
Yeah,
Yeah.
nobody was
thank-
frozen. You weren't frozen.
Thank
No.
God I didn't say anything stupid in frustration. Okay, in an effort to not sound selfish, but also knowing that we have a specific event ahead, I'm thinking if we can ask some sort of question in relation to Jack Terragali. And if Grazit has a connection with him, or if he is connected somehow to the Wyvern, seeing as there was some sort of like curse on it, back on the other island, and we had to, or the other ship that we were trying to get, remember? So I feel like there's some sort of spooky magic getting in the way, and he might be part of it. So I haven't figured out how I want to word that question yet, but I want to
Yeah.
throw it out there.
No, I
because
like
it is
it.
a concrete event.
I definitely think that we should ask about the Wyvern. And again, it just needs to be a question regarding our future. And it doesn't have to be a yes or no. It can be like a,
Are we on the right track to getting the Wyvern? Are we, or something?
I'm assuming you guys are having this conversation on top of the forecastle, the front part of the ship.
yeah.
It's a lovely late autumn evening on board. You're getting a nice brisk wind coming off of the port side. It's allowing you to make some good progress, and everyone's doing their thing, but you hear the normal shipboard sounds. People are having some drinks, and the workload is light at this time of day.
Okay.
So, what anybody else want to posit what they would like to have divined?
Well, I have a bet going with some of the other crew members over which one of them only has 7 toes, and so I'd like, if that's an answer that can be found out, we could win. I could win the money back that would be required to make that determination.
Great.
Just put that out there.
Interesting.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'd
so
like to
it's-
know,
oh.
if Ilana loves me back.
Oh, sweetie.
I'm not gonna waste it on a no. I'm just kidding.
Yeah. Okay. So it sounds like we want to focus on the question of, are we going to come across them going in this direction? But to better get more information, maybe like which direction should we take if we want to have an interaction with them? If that is the attempt we're trying to do, is that a question we're allowed to ask, Andrew?
Well, to recount divination, it is You may ask a single question concerning a specific goal, event, or activity.
Okay, it is a goal. So yeah, it's like, are we in the right direction to reach or not are we in the direction, but what is the correct direction of some kind? And then another question that will address the Grazit issue, because we've got a hypothesis that the Wyvern crew are potentially being meddled with as well. But we also have no idea how to defeat him, no idea how to summon him, and really no idea why he's doing this. It almost seems like a strange side quest to the Wyvern, but actually I think the Wyvern is the side quest to this. But in any case,
Potato.
yeah.
Okay.
But I don't know. Like DM, can you tell us what might be more helpful? Like, I know that's kind of a bit meta, but
well, I will say that you get your answers in the form of pages that are presented in your brazier or brazier, depending on who you talk to.
Thank you.
So it's the kind of response that will be in writing, first of all, but more importantly, it'll be given to you with some thought. I mean, I would be very loose about the semantics of the divination spell and how it says it's got to be about an activity to occur within 7 days. I mean, I know they're trying to give you some boundaries, so you can't just ask any old thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know if I can give you any meta guidance on this because I really don't know exactly what you want to ask. I mean,
that's the question.
Well,
what do we like?
Yeah, that's your first divination question. What question should I ask?
Yeah, can you imagine?
I would like to wish for more wishes. The other thing to consider in this is that there's no roll required, so you don't have to technically wait for a portent to be
I know.
particularly good. The limiting factor here is the money, because it does require the 25. So you can ask a question every day you're out there if you want.
That's on Tergar. Tergar's buying.
He's got all your divination.
That's true. I think 2 is probably going to be enough unless we really don't like what the second one is giving us. Chair recognizes Christine.
Thank you. I can pay for my Wyvern question.
Okay. Great. So that's which direction should we go if we want to encounter the Wyvern?
Was that it, or was it? Is he's tampering with the Wyvern and all those who?
Well, that's just a yes or no question, and I don't know if that's really related. That's more of just like an information based.
Oh, so specific. Okay, that's fine. Whatever.
But we do want to know something about Grazit and this ship. Mm-hmm. So there's the first one is how do we? So okay, first question is are we going in the right direction? But then the second one could be something about Grazit, something about the ship, and like. If we want to cause him harm, how do we do it? Or something like that. Or yeah,
what's his undoing or something?
Just spitballing
things so we can buy the right weapons.
Okay, how about we ask question number 1 on day 1? So like once we've left and we've made a decision, Nim could on day 1 do her divinity to see if we're even going, like to put us in the right direction. Is that reasonable? DM?
Oh, you're asking me. It's totally reasonable that you could ask it on day 1.
Okay. Why do you sound?
I'm waiting to hear what the question is, and
okay.
And the other thing before we launch into that, so that's what you're doing, and you've had your conversation with folks to get a sense of what it makes sense to ask. I would like to know what, and it sounds like Norman is having fun with the crew by, making bets and gambling and doing all the things that people do on a ship. But you can elaborate on that, Al, if there's anything else you want Norman to be doing. He's getting pretty good with ropes and knots. That's also a thing that he did.
Cool. That's good to know.
Well, that was from a previous, what are you guys doing on board the ship? You're like, I'm going to make knots my thing. And you rolled super good.
Oh, yeah. I didn't write that down. No, I'm keeping busy. I'm just keeping folks, their minds occupied. General distraction is what I'm working on.
Excellent. How about Jojandron? What is he doing on board the ship?
Well, I was a bit shaken up, had my faith shaken up a bit by our time in wherever the hell we were just now. And so I'm going to withdraw to myself and my prayer and just sit and reflect. Maybe do some journaling, all addressed to Alona. Beg forgiveness for even just being close to that much sin. That type of stuff. So find a quiet room and seal myself off.
Okay. All right. It's on board ship, especially the ship that's been packed with as many extra crew as you have. It's a little hard to find complete privacy, but
is there a barrel?
There's definitely a barrel. I was going to say Captain Farstrider will gladly offer up his quarters if you, seeing that you are, normally a pretty jovial guy and you've been clearly taken with something. He's like, go have a little time in my quarters. You look like you need it.
As long as they don't call him Farts Rider, right?
He would prefer that, but listen, he knows sometimes you just can't unbend a nail. So,
okay.
And how about Glonda? What is Glonda going to be doing during the interceding 3 days on board ship?
I think Glonda will be shadowing the captain, and kind of watching exactly how to sail and all the little things that you need to know that maybe I didn't think about as a crew member on the Wyvern previously in my prior life. So I feel like I would be doing a little bit more of like trying to really figure out and get in the mental state of I'm going to be a captain. I have to get back into this. So I'd be like taking notes and asking questions and cleaning up after people and so I feel like she'd be really just trying to get a little gung-ho. I think after before when I told everybody like no man left behind, everybody was really excited and like looked pumped to be part of the crew. I got this like kind of a fire under my butt to just be like, do it,
cool,
crush the role. So I'm kind of like putting myself in some training right now.
Okay. So before we go into divination question time, let's make a couple rolls because that's always fun. I'm going to have Gnorin make a roll and add your charisma modifier to it. Christine, you're going to roll and add your intelligence modifier to it. And Jordan, you're going to roll for Jojandron and add your wisdom modifier to it.
Wait, what did you say to me?
You don't make a roll because you're
That's
doing
what
divination. Your interior is you're working on your divination.
Okay.
Did you give us all our weak ones?
I don't know. We'll find out, won't we?
Well, I'm not very smart.
11 for me.
11 for Al.
6 for me.
6 for Jordan, okay.
15 for Glonda.
Okay. So Glonda is very studious and is taking some quality notes. And you also do it in a way which doesn't seem to be getting in other people's way. So I think you have the sailor background, so you're already proficient in sailing. You have proficiency, navigator's tools, and you can do water vehicles. Anyway, you learn a lot about boats and captaining a boat specifically, not just about how a boat works, but why it works. And most importantly, you pick up a few things about how to be a better captain, mostly from shadowing Farstrider and seeing how he relates to crew. And so I'm going to say that generally is the thing that you're doing over your next couple of days. Al, you got an 11. You successfully distract a lot of people. You find that you get the scuttlebutt on sort of the ship gossip on board the ship, and right now they're very loyal to what's been happening. Like that's been you don't need to guess on this. It's been very iffy up until now, because you've been viewed as landlubbers, adventurers that don't know anything about the sea and are just, taking up space. Yeah, exactly. But you get that you have won them over with some of your antics, and more importantly, putting up to save Mopey from a very dreadful fate. So there is a grudging respect that is now flowing your way. And this also made a little easier by the fact that you have been paying them and you've been, going the extra mile to get some good grub for them. So, their only concerns are the day-to-day things on board the ship, and making sure that they are under the command of people that know what they're doing. So in that regard, you get the sense that they're confident right now that things are going well. It's a little bit. The other thing you get is that they find a little bit weird that it's not your standard ship activity. Like, it's not a cargo run. It's not a cruise for passengers. They don't like the uncertainty of not knowing exactly what they're doing, that they're just sort of sailing in this direction for no particular reason. But food's good, money's good.
Did they not know that we're going to try to get the wyvern? Did we not tell them that? Farstrider knows. He knows that's the deal, but it may not have been widely. The rumor also goes very quickly, right? That may be ostensibly the reason, but they also think like, oh, there's a treasure out there they've got to find, which was ironically quite true. Okay.
Yeah, it's true. I don't know whether that was actually communicated.
Because we obviously have a second crew on board, which we would only have if we thought we were picking up a ship.
That's true. Okay, so I'll take that back. Now that they have a goal in mind, they just feel like it's maybe a long way to go to pick up a ship, and can't you just buy another ship? You're clearly rich, but anyway, I guess this ship's important, so sure. So, long story short, they're currently comfortable with what's going on. It hasn't been the case always, but and in the process, you feel very comfortable with them, and they with you. Jordan, your days in prayer and reflection, on the third day or at the end of the day, and you bed down for the night, and you find yourself having a dream. And in this dream, a very familiar presence is with you, and it feels very much like you are being visited by Alona, and you get that same feeling of disappointment and judgment, like you would have been found lacking or wanting. And the phrase that comes back to your mind is thin ice. And you wake from that, maybe, this kind of thing that bolts you upright in bed and going, oh God, what was that? But there's also something about it which doesn't, like, normally with your interactions, but you commune with your deity on a pretty regular basis. Anytime you're casting a spell, it's by invoking her name. But there's something different about this. You don't usually have dreams. Maybe you have a dream because you have been spending this extra time reflecting, but it doesn't feel the same. So in as much as it feels familiar, it feels strange at the same time. So that is where I will leave you with that. And now we'll backtrack a bit to when Nimralian does her first divination. So, standing by for le question.
All right. She politely requests to the captain if she can use his quarters for her divination, and hopefully he's cool with. I mean, this will be. I don't know. I guess if Jordan's there if Joe John's there the whole time, never mind. She'll do it in their quarters, and everyone will take off. Okay, she takes out her books, and let's see here. She specifically takes out the 5 teeth from Thousand Tooth that she still has, and her cut quartz that she still has. She technically still, like, she takes out the spell books that she's collected, the 2 spell books that she's collected.
Gonna burn one of those? That's a good idea. Yeah.
She's gonna burn one of the teeth of the 1,000 Tooth. I think is her idea for one of them, is to discard something that is so special. And it is hers of the 5, because I think we have 5, and so she's giving up hers for this first question.
Okay.
And she takes out her quill and her ink, and she writes in the most teeny tiny, slanted, like perfect little cursive that looks like it's a font that you can hardly even read. Simply deeps down, digs deep, and considers this question going out into the ether, into the universe, into the antimatter and matter that exist in this galaxy and beyond. And she asks, if we are to seek the wyvern, which direction must we go? And she puts the parchment around the tooth, and she puts it into her brazier, and she casts warm hands until the whole thing's on fire, and then she sits back on her feet and closes her eyes.
Okay. And your teeny tiny note is consumed in the greenish flame that eventually sort of burbles up in the brazier. And the
crewman brought me a good beer. Sorry. Thank you, crewman.
You as it sort of ashes, the paper turns to ash. The ashes settle on the base of the brazier, and the
what,
fire. Sorry, the brazier. And the flame settles down until it's just ash, and then the ash starts to sort of coalesce and turn over and become from black to gray to a tallow yellowish color. And the embers underneath it also sort of simmer a bit, and you can see words begin to form on it. And eventually a text in equally teeny tiny but a Gothic font starts to coalesce onto the piece of paper, and the words read, "The wyvern is found where the wind takes you."
Okay. So it doesn't effing matter where we go.
The wind always blows north to south.
just hold up the sails, just stop steering, and just go.
Just gave everybody a day off. We're just going to take a nap and see where we end up.
Just see where the wind goes.
If we're just letting the wind take us, maybe we're all fart riders.
Yeah, can't argue with that.
What a waste of 25 gold pieces.
Oh, I know. Our DM's cruel. All right, where
it
the
does
wind...
specifically say, it can be cryptic rhyme or an omen.
Real here, folks. Did we expect anything different?
No, let's not waste any more money. I'm done.
I look forward to seeing how this plays out, because I think that's... Anyway, I will just... Did you not want to spend any more dough on your divination? Because
not if my answers are going to be like that.
They might not all be like that. There's a lot of things for the fates and spirits of matter and antimatter
where the
to
wind
consider.
takes us is the answer.
That is the answer.
There was an asterisk on this thing that said the answers can be, what was it? Cryptic, puzzling?
Cryptic, omens, rhymes. You're lucky it wasn't a rhyme.
This didn't rhyme. This wasn't a rhyming passage. I don't know, y'all. That one was on Turgar, so we can still do Glonda's question about like the downfall of Grazit / the downfall of Terragali and something like that. I don't know.
I'd like to hear another answer no matter what.
It better be a song this time.
It better be a song.
Oh, Lord. Why did I buy this level 5 spell?
Well, Terragar is happy to buy
He
one more
is.
of these. Yeah.
But only if you say it like Dan.
I'm not doing it.
I did take 25 gold pieces off of mine, so I paid for the last one.
Oh, you paid for the last one, so now Turgar's. Well, yeah. Why don't you just pay for this one then? Because they already did do Turgar's cute little ask.
So what's the question on the second spell?
Well, I effed up the last one, so someone else can come up with it. Christine, you're paying. What do you want to ask?
I thought I paid for the last one.
Turgar did. So now you're paying for this one.
But that was my question, was where's the wyvern?
I thought you clarified and said the question was about Grazit's grasp on the wyvern. Oh, this is delicious.
But then you said that's not an event, so I was like, oh yeah, no, you're right, F that.
Okay.
Well, technically, where can we find the wyvern isn't an event either, so...
I didn't say where can we find it. I said which direction shall we go in order to encounter it. Don't roll the tapes.
And an encounter is an event.
Fair enough. I am chastened and corrected.
I have nothing to say.
Chased, man. Okay. Why not like the downfall of Grazit, or like how, like what is what steps must be taken in order to rid us of Grazit, or how will Grazit be rid of our minds, or something like that. I know that it won't be like, oh, step 1, get a bucket. Step 2, but at the very least, it might be like, you can't, or something, and that would be clear enough that okay, there's no point in trying. Also, I guess Nim needs to get on better terms with the universe.
The universe has some words to offer for sure.
Yeah. Okay. Do we have anything cute to give up, y'all? I'm not gonna give up any of those things.
Well, Tergar has already given up his 25 gold, and so did Christine. So the monetary component is done.
Yeah. I'm trying to think about what to get rid of. I guess I could use this cut quartz. She's been holding on to it for this whole time, but no, maybe she needs to give something more important to her to be seen as an important thing. I've got the treaty about Ios and still have that book of unknown language. If I remember correctly, I gave up a page from that book with an unknown language previously, and that was really hard on her, and she ended up getting a pretty decent response. So heck, we're doing it again.
Okay.
She opens up this book, which she has been like trying to read every single night, retcon. And she chooses a page that has a poem on it that she has already like started to decipher, but obviously needs weeks more to do. And she gingerly, one little thing at a time, rips this page out of the book, and like literally a tear is shed because she knew she was on the cusp of figuring this poem out, but she is giving it up because this is a far more important thing to her. So on that page in ink, over top of what she's already scribbled, she writes, something like a how, I suppose, but how does the party rid themselves of Grazit? Is it even possible? Something like that, with like a sad emoticon. I even said emoticon because I'm like from the 90s, so emoji.
You're right.
But no, MSN used emoticons, and I'm not an
AOL
is
totally legit. Perhaps not in Fantasyland, but I understand what you're going for, though.
Yeah. Colon, open bracket.
Okay. So same deal. You write it and you cast it into the brazier, and it is consumed, and it coalesces, and then you're normally expecting again the paper to reform and be cast into something new, but this time when it sort of burns down, it starts to spark. And little green and yellow sparks seem to be casting off and flying off into the room, which causes you a bit of alarm because you're on board a ship, and fire doesn't go well. So you're sitting there, snapping out these sparks as they land on the ship's floor. As you sort of, it seems to increase in tempo, and eventually you're covering it with your body so that the sparks don't go anywhere. And as you are looking into it, a vision emerges. You see it sort of in the dance of flames and sparks. You can see images forming within this cascade of flame, and it seems to be. You have a hard time figuring out what it is, but it seems to be underwater. It seems to be land underwater, and suddenly there's a shift, and you can feel the brazier. I'm calling it a brazier from now on. Who cares? You can feel it shudder as there is a sort of a shift in this land underwater, and a massive cascade of bubbles, which take the form of very slow-moving sparks, come up. And the vision then shifts to what appears to be, it's like you're a bird that's watching this. I mean, I would say the camera pans to, but we're in the fantasy world where there are no cameras. So you have this bird's eye view, again in the image that's formed in the brazier, and it casts its eye over what appears to be a very small desert island, and it's got palm trees and all sorts of jungly tropes, but the bird's eye gets super close to it. And again, this is all the vision that you're seeing in the flames. And as you approach, you can see there's a single structure on this, deep in the middle of this small isle. And as you approach, you can see that it is no more than a ziggurat, something that you have recently had some experience with. And as you approach, you can see in the distance a giant wave that's been created by this shift underground, and it smashes into the island, and you can see it roll over top of the ziggurat. And you can feel, again, the brazier sort of shudders as this wave smashes over it. And you can feel that there is a shift, and you hear a large cracking noise. And as this bird's eye view sort of casts its way around the now close-up view of the ziggurat, you can see that one side of it has been damaged, and you can hear a hissing noise that you realize is now the sound of this flame is sort of transforming from the vision into the hissing of the flames. And it seems that the energy within this incantation is sort of starting to dwindle, and as the hissing sort of starts to fade, you can hear the deep chuckle and mini maniacal laughter that you've come to associate with your encounters with Grazit.
And he's happy with what just happened.
Mm-hmm. And with that, the visions fade, the fire fades, the sparks stop bouncing off of you.
Thank you for that, Andrew. I needed that. Thank you. That was beautiful.
And then a song breaks out, which you can feel free to film. No, anyway, there's no song. There's no accompanying song.
Thank you, Andrew. That was really exciting. Appreciate it.
Oh, of course. So it's at that point that you maybe reflect on what you've just been watching. And this is the end of your third day at sea. And you turn in for the night. And the next morning when you awake, and you wake not to the same sounds with which you went to sleep. You know, the ship was very peacefully rocking under the push of the winds behind. But when you wake, there is no movement. And you go up to have some breakfast, look around, do your yawns, take a look, and you see the familiar sight. Well, the first thing that catches you is that there's no wind, and the sails hang listlessly off of the masts. But more important is there's a blazing reflection of the sun over top is being reflected back at you from a mirror-like finish aboard of the ocean waters around you.
So there's no wind.
But there's no wind. It is like looking out over an icy pool. There's the tiniest wisps of wind catch occasional bits of water. And so you can tell that it's not, in fact, ice or glass, but Whatever is happening, there's no wind today, and the water is eerily reflective in that you've seen before. But more importantly, it seems to be not leaving its previous, like previously when you'd look at it, it would be a moment and then it would revert back to the usual translucent state of water. That is not happening now.
Oh boy.
All of the sailors are looking at this. Farstrider is looking at this and he's looking very unhappy.
And where are we right now?
You are, roughly speaking, in the middle of the bay between Cybert Isle and Flotsam Island. If you look at the North Star map, it tells you exactly where you are. But technically, you are 65 miles off, away from Ponyard and 75 miles to Cyber.
Oh, I see now.
Yeah. And specifically, the ship has an approximate speed of 0 miles per hour.
0.00.
You know, the
knots.
the measurement tools are crude, but you're roughly 0. Yeah.
Well,
Oh no. He has found us.
What would you like to do?
Cry.
I say we just wait it out. Let's wait a few months and see if we move.
Can I cast See Invisibility?
You may.
I can even see into the ethereal plane. So I'm gonna cast See Invisibility, please.
Okay. You cast your senses about. Is there a particular range for that lets you see?
No, I mean because it says invisible creatures as if they were visible, and you can see into the ethereal plane, and the ethereal creatures and objects appear ghostly and translucent.
Gotcha. So basically, as far as you can see.
Yeah.
So as far as you can see, and you sort of spend a little time looking around. I mean, it lasts for an hour. You detect no invisible creatures. You detect nothing in the ethereal plane that looks out of order.
Okay, thank you.
Would it be pretty much the same move if I used Detect Magic?
You can certainly cast Detect Magic. It would be different because using Detect Magic won't detect invisible creatures, but Seeing Invisible won't detect magic things. So it is definitely a different thing. It lets you detect magic within 30 feet of you.
Now, I'm assuming we had a long rest in all our
Oh yeah,
spells. We got
you've
to
had
reset them.
several days of long rests actually. So
Okay, terrific. So I'll use that. I may as well use that.
okay, there is definitely magic at work around you. There is the faint glimmer of a magical effect on this water. Also on the ship. No, the ship isn't magical, but the water is definitely magical.
Do I see any source of the magic?
No, it is. Your range is 30 feet, and all I can tell you is that everything you see in the water around you, it emanates a faint aura of magic. And I think I even get to tell you what
Now,
school of magic it is. So,
and can I
This is
see
really
any,
important.
any creatures? I should be able to see an aura around creatures that bear magic.
it's true.
So does that mean I see an aura around Nimmeralian, for example?
You would see magic on things that she is carrying that are magical. She is not inherently magic. I think if she was casting a magic spell, that might be obvious.
So
But
do I see anyone glowing that shouldn't be glowing, or any object glowing that shouldn't be glowing? Anything I'm surprised at?
Can you give me an example of the kinds of things you're looking at?
Well, if I'm looking around and I'm seeing, okay, Nima's got her magic bag of holding it, has an aura around it, or let's say Norman has some magic beans that are glowing, I wouldn't be surprised. But if Farstrider had, for example, glowing shoes, I'd be like, oh, I didn't know Farstrider had glowing magic shoes.
Taking the opportunity, eh? Well,
Or perhaps under the water there is a glowing light.
Yeah, a little glowing fish or something swimming about.
So there's no glowing fish under the water. Certainly nothing that is... It seems the water itself is detecting as magical. Farstrider is indeed up there with you, and looking at him, you can see that the sword at his side detects as magical. And it was a fine-looking sword, so you're not entirely surprised at that. The deck wizard, Hafelklack, he is also up there, and his amulet detects as magical. What else do we have that might be around? I'm going to say everybody else is either moving around and not in your immediate view. Tandia Baliango is also on, and he detects as magical, which does cast a little bit of a surprise on you.
Who is this?
This is the shipwrecked sailor of the Wyvern that you picked up.
Aha.
He's the water elf 2.0, where we'll always forget about
That
him.
interesting. Now, you tell me whether we saw the mirror effect on the water before we picked him up. I think we did.
You did.
Okay, so that's my turn then.
I will also tell you that the School of Magic, you're allowed to know kind of what kind of magic it is. The school on the water is an illusion school, and the school affecting Tandia seems to be an enchantment.
An enchantment?
Mm-hmm.
Well, isn't that interesting? He's somehow enchanted, you're suggesting.
I am.
As in he's under an enchantment, behaving against his own will, perhaps.
My gosh. What do we have to stop that? We've got counterspell. Don't you have something cool, Christine? What do I have?
Maybe.
Now, obviously, I've relayed this information to my patron.
Okay.
I've got counterspell, but that's only a reaction. So what we need is, I think, don't you or Turgar have something that's like remove curse or something? Oh, I have remove curse,
Yeah,
but he's
curse.
not cursed. He's enchanted. That's different, right?
Tirgar does have the dispel magic spell.
Okay.
And you do that?
Well, wait a second. Is that young boy being enchanted? Well,
Didn't realize Dan was foghorn legs.
Well, I do believe that this young man shouldn't be under no spell.
I think that might come back to haunt you.
Good. I always have moments like that.
Cool. Yeah, he can definitely try that. Somebody, being Dan, is going to have to roll for him. And using your spellcasting ability, it will be at +8.
Not it.
Yep.
Okay, I'll roll.
All right.
Yeah, let Norman roll. Here we go. 18.
18. Okay. So casts the spell, and I gotta look up something real quick. No. Magic. Actually, it doesn't give a whole lot of detail. Okay, I'm going to suggest that this is happening within the window that Jojandron is still detecting magic, so you get to know whether or not something happened. The spell is cast. The effect remains.
Now, how does that work?
He either didn't roll high enough, or it's not something that can be dispelled.
Okay.
Well, isn't that interesting? And he rolled an 18 with
He did.
any
That's
addition?
pretty.
He rolled a 10 + 8 because that's his
Oh.
spellcasting modifier. Yeah.
Okay. And and he's the only one I think that has that spell, right? I don't think any of us have it. I don't have anything similar to that.
No.
Yeah, Dispel Magic's a 3rd level spell, and I don't think you've got that level yet.
We're kind of entering the philosophical debate again with this, but Zone of Truth, I couldn't say, are you under an enchantment from whom? he couldn't say that because it wouldn't penetrate the. From his perspective, he'd be telling the truth because he's enchanted, right?
You don't need to give him that out. Why don't we just say who enchanted you and see what happens?
But I don't think he'd be aware that he's enchanted.
I
But
love
he can't
that.
lie.
I love that this spell has not ever been cast, and it gets shot down every time because you guys talk yourselves out of using
I
it.
think we should do it. We should ask him who enchanted him and see what happens.
If not him, somebody should ask something that they'd want to know
but
the
listen,
truth out of.
All it does is it prevents the creature who's affected by the zone from responding to a question that they would normally respond to with a lie. An enchanted creature would not lie about
It also
this.
depends what the
Yeah, they
enchantment
would.
is.
They would go, I'm not enchanted, which is a lie. They'd go, I'm not enchanted, which they are not knowing it, but they are not telling the truth.
But it's not a lie.
So we're getting
Yes,
into
it is.
the relativity.
No,
of
but it
truth
is.
here.
Yeah, I would say that if you unknowingly tell false information, you have technically lied. Unknowingly. It doesn't
But-
talk about known lies, intentional lying versus
I
not.
think
So
lying has to be knowing.
Yeah, because they're saying the truth that they like. What they know is the truth.
but that's not the actual truth. This has happened before. I
Every
think
time.
we should do it.
Then let's
Every
move
time.
on. No, I'm kidding.
I think we should do it. I feel like
Okay,
what is truth? Truth is fact, not opinion. So if you
But,
don't
all right.
think you're enchanted, that's still not true. Whether
As-
you
as
think
much-
or you don't think.
As
Listen,
much as I want
we'll
this spell to be
figure
cast,
out what this is when we cast it, and if that is something that happens. Let's do it one time, and everybody can just stop talking about it.
as much as I sorely want this spell to be cast, I just also want to give you a bit of insight as to Tandia's state of mind over the last 3 days. As you have gone further and further east away from Ponyard, it's subtle, but he's become a bit more agitated. And if you ask him about it, he basically says, "Why are we going this way? Why are we going? Why aren't we going back to Saltmarsh? You know, I thank you for everything you've done, but listen, I'll take the launch and continue on to Saltmarsh. I don't." He eventually learns that you guys are after Jack and to recapture the Wyvern, and he says, "Okay, you can drop me off at the first port because I want nothing to do with that." And
So
as you
I'd be
get,
willing to zone of truth him about that and just see what his answer is.
Yeah. Please, zone of truth, something.
Okay. Andrew, you ready?
I am so ready. Wait, should we take our break first?
Z-O-T. Al, do you have the effect?
Oh, wait, hold on.
The zone of truth effect?
I can do it. Hold on. What's
Should
a
be
good?
like a shimmering spotlight kind of thing.
Yeah.
And,
Damn, that's not the right one.
some
Okay,
sort
I've
of
got one
electric
ready.
guitar musical sting.
And fireball it, but that's about it.
I could do the Who Scream.
Yeah, that works.
No, okay. All right, Magic Lightning. That's what we'll do. All right, I'm ready. Go for it.
Zone of truth.
No, I think I preferred the yeah. So
Well,
sorry.
I don't
can you
have
do
the
it again?
sound on anyway.
Yeah,
so I
but can we
can't
do
hear
it
I'm
again
sure
for
was
me?
great.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, thank you. Just one more time. Take 2.
Yep. Ready.
Reset. Action.
Zone of truth. Okay.
Sweet.
So I would like to ask Tavi, why do you want to go to Saltmarsh instead of the island's called, instead of Fairwind, or no, sorry, instead of Cyber? Why do you want to go to Saltmarsh instead of Cyber? And tell me the truth.
Well, I know more people in Saltmarsh. Cyber is closer to where Jack is, and he might get there. I don't want to be there when he gets there.
And why don't you want to be there when Jack gets there?
They've gone crazy. they lost their sense. They at each other's throats. They're like animals, turning on each other and driven by something I don't understand.
Interesting. I gotta say, guys, he's not acting like somebody who's under an enchantment. He seems pretty logical. But you're so quiet, I can't even hear you.
Ask him if he knows he's enchanted. Tell him do you know why about that? Okay.
Tavi, do you think that there's any chance that you might be enchanted?
Enchanted? You mean like cursed?
It's similar to a curse, but I wouldn't phrase it so negatively. Just, do you think you might be influenced by anybody that you're unaware of?
Okay, now we're in the weeds. Because how can he? He says, I don't think so.
His answer would be.
He says he doesn't think so, which is truthful.
Yeah.
But don't ask him what he thinks. Just ask him if he is.
I don't think. What's the word here? Epistemologically, I don't think he's able to make that leap.
I think you're wearing your lawyer's robe and hat right now.
Objection.
Objection, Your Honor.
My client cannot knowingly lie if he's enchanted.
Tell him he's enchanted and see how his expression changes.
I can't do that. I refuse.
What?
You're there, Brooke, and I mean, he's in the zone.
Nim is not an impulsive. She would not do something like that. She respects very much what Joe John's doing. She would not jump in.
This is his show.
Yes, this is his moment. She's itching to see what would happen, but she won't do it.
All right, so do you have anything else to ask?
Do you know which crew member has 7 toes?
Well, let's see.
Well, I do. Once Gnorman's finished, I do have one more question.
He goes, well, I think he's got 8 toes, and he points at somebody who's not wearing boots and is clearly missing a few toes. Says, but I haven't really looked, so I don't know.
Yeah, we all know about 8-toe Bill. 7 toes is what I want to know.
Add 8-toe Bill to the list. Have we asked him about Brazit? Okay, so how about we just ask Tavi, do you know anything about the demon Grazit? Or have you seen any visions of a ziggurat? Anything of that nature?
Does he know anything about demon Grazit? He says, does he know anything about demon Grazit? Sorry, I mean, you need to think about this one, does he? Well, it's 8:30. Why don't we take our break and have a suspenseful 5 minutes?
You can study.
While I can review my notes and see if he does know anything about
it.
Okay.
Excellent.
Thanks, DM.
My pleasure. Back in 5, everybody.
Are we back?
Yeah, we're back. We're back to Christine's chocolate bar.
It's my fiber one.
It's not a chocolate bar? It should be.
It's a granola bar. We don't have any sweets in the house, so I've been dummying these granola bars.
They probably have 1 million calories in them, so they're probably close to a sweet. Wait, don't look. Let's just jump back in. But I cannot give you the answer until Jordan is back with us because it's his thing. So we got a riff for about, 4 minutes? When is Jordan ever back in Fin 5?
Yeah, well, someone could play Jordan.
Oh, that would be a double entendre there, for sure.
Dan can play Jordan.
Nicely done. Yeah.
Thanks.
Okay, Al, could you play Dan playing Jordan, please?
I think I might be able to channel my brother. My friend.
That was actually quite good. Jordan, we had Al playing Dan playing Jordan.
I'm sorry I missed it. I'll have to watch the YouTube stream.
That's right, the double bluff. All right, now that you're back, I will give you the heavily researched answer to the question of... Please repeat your question.
Which crew member has 7 toes?
No,
I said, Tavi, I said, Tavi, what? Do you know anything about the demon Grazit? And have you experienced any visions, including things like ziggurats or stuff of that nature?
Okay. At the mention of Grazit's name, he turns bone white. Like all the blood rushes out of his composure. And he
That's
says...
enough for me. No, guys, he doesn't know anything.
He's completely innocent. And he looks at you with big eyes and a very scared expression. And he looks at you and says, "Oh, sir, the dreams, the terrible dreams. I did not even know a name to put to that face, but then the crew were whispering, and they would whisper that name, and they would plead with it. They would beseech it. It offered us things, terrible things. And I knew then that was what was happening to them. That's when I knew I had to leave. Lest I would lose my will, lose my faith."
I have an announcement I'd like to make to the crew. Okay, everyone, we're screwed. No, just kidding.
So cool. So your zone of truth got more information about the connection between Grazit and Wyvern, which is really what Christine wanted to know all along. Christine, you got your answer. Grazit's all up in there.
I knew it. The ship we were supposed to use turned green for some reason.
So yeah, he breaks down at this point and says, Please will you return us to take me to Saltmarsh? It's not a nice place, I know, but it's a paradise compared to being out here
Grazit
now."
is here. Grazit is in our minds. He is here right now. Who do you think is currently holding our ship hostage? You feared idiot.
Well, that didn't improve his mental state at all. He now is openly sobbing, tears of blood, that kind of thing.
Just spitting facts.
Okay.
He will follow you to Saltmarsh. It must be dealt with here at sea.
Okay, well, his action is spent sobbing. Perhaps crying out for his mother, that kind of thing. It's at this point that Farstrider comes down and says, "Well, we're fucked." Oh, I didn't mean to say that. Are we in some kind of magical, makes me tell the truth kind of thing?
Oh, pardon me. Let me turn off the zone. Thanks, Farstrider. Apologies.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm optimistic of our chances.
Oh, Farstrider, always the lying optimist. That's what we like about you.
That was so funny.
We've got easily 45 days worth of rations, and wind can't stay down like this forever. That said, don't like the look of that sea. I can't say I've ever seen anything like that
It's
before.
enchanted.
Ah, yes, that would be my guess too. I mean, I'm no wizard, but seas of glass and all that strikes me as maybe a magical thing, yes?
Well, you're no wizard, but we do have a wizard on board.
Indeed, Halfleclack, he's my deck wizard. He's pretty good.
Could
Well,
Halfleclack-
did he notice anything?
Yeah, Halfleclack, do you have any intel on this type of spell? Or have you ever seen this type of...
Throw that zone of
enchantment before?
truth back on.
Yeah, it's the Zone of Truth. Does it
How
have...
about you fake turned it off?
Yeah.
The whole like, oh!
Everywhere we go now, any social interaction. Is that the truth?
I pick up
People
something
don't
heavy
like
and
us
throw
at
it
the
over
party.
the side to see what happens to that water if it makes any
Cool, that's
ripples in
Yeah,
it.
I was
If I
curious
Norman
with that
moment.
too.
toss something over the side.
What is the thing you toss over?
I'm looking around and I see.
You're like, anchor. Probably need that. A coil of rope. I guess you need that. Oh,
Yeah, I'm trying to
a
think of
barrel of
something
beer. That would make me popular.
I think there's the remnants of a barrel that is now empty, but it's also like, or it's the ring, like that metal
Yeah.
ring from a barrel, just a scrap barrel part. Take it and I toss it over the
There's a
side.
pair of snowshoes here. I don't think I'm using those.
No, I'll need those later, please.
Yeah.
Okay. Just
Okay.
in case.
You toss it over the side and it lands in the water. It's as if the water is mercury. I mean, it splashes. It's not.
Okay.
It doesn't like clunk and then just sit there, but it does splash and then sink beneath the waves. I say
Oh, wait.
mercury,
Oh, it
but like
does sink.
silver paint, maybe. Like it's not got the thickness of mercury.
Okay.
It is
But it's
indeed.
more viscous than water.
It's exactly as viscous as water, to be scientific
Okay.
about it.
But
But
it's
it's-
extremely.
It's got this
Shiny and
reflectivity
opaque.
that just it does not.
And what do the ripples do?
They eventually sort of ripple out and then fade off, and
So it's not the physics. It's not really the physics of the water, then. It's the physics of the wind, which is more of a sky enchantment. But you said the water was what was enchanted. So if we throw something into the air, really there's no wind? Or is there wind and it's not impacting? Like what?
If
what
we-
do you want to throw up into the air to test your hypothesis?
Well, I'm about to
Petrie. I just
cannonball
whip
off
Petrie
the
into
side.
the air and see what happens.
Norman, don't jump into the water. Christ's sake, could somebody tie this guy to a mast already?
Wait, let
Does
me
anybody-
detect. Okay, if he's gonna do it, if she knows that he's doing it, can she cast breathes water on him or on the group?
Yeah, totally.
Okay,
Can we
so
get,
he's cannonballing in.
Can we get Halfleclack's opinion?
Yeah,
He
his
has one?
answer. Yeah, we're jumping out at him. He looks out and he says, "No, I've never seen anything like this before. It's beyond my understanding."
So you wouldn't be able to just fix it immediately?
No. And this wind business is most regrettable. I mean, normally we'd have some sort of spell for winds, but I'm afraid I don't have one of those.
Okay. You can't help at all then,
I did.
Halfleclack, can you?
I'm mostly good in combat situations, you see.
Oh!
You would be boarded by
Oh,
pirates
frig
and
off.
such.
Okay.
Okay.
Does any-
Tomorrow I could use gust of wind. I didn't prepare it unless
Dang
he's
it.
gonna. Unless he's gonna let me retcon. and
I
say
literally
didn't
hear
prepare it.
like, does anybody have a wind
I
spell?
literally had Nunteka's spell book Gust of Wind, but I had not prepared it. So I had prepared water breathing and I had prepared a couple other things, but I had
I
not prepared Gust
have-
of Wind because I didn't know.
Lehman's tiny hut.
Hey!
I
Okay,
am
how about
excited to know what you want to do with Lehman's tiny hut. But anyway, I want to hear what Jordan's going to ask.
Oh, I was just suggesting that we tie Norman up to a rope and then throw him overboard.
Okay.
Yeah.
And see if I can see below the surface.
And see
And
if it happens.
I'm happy to cast water breathing actually on all of us. It can go up to 10 people who are willing.
Yeah.
So all the party, and then if anyone else on the crew is just like eager,
Give it to
4 other-
Faskatan just because he's the captain and we want him to be safe.
I'm sure you meant Forest Rider.
Yeah, you did mean Forest
I
Rider.
do mean Forest Rider.
But I like this Freudian slip there. It's like,
Oops, Dad.
Daddy. Cool. So I'll take that
Cast
spell
that one?
off.
okay.
What about this whole? Should I wait until tomorrow to learn Nunteka's gust of wind moment? Because I didn't prepare it this morning because I didn't know we weren't moving.
You might be able to use Arcane Recovery.
Okay.
So that's a spell feature of... oh no, that just gets you spell slots back. It doesn't let you learn different spells. I'm sorry.
I mean, what does really at the beginning of the day mean? If we show up at 6 a.m. and I haven't had my coffee yet and I notice it's not moving, and then I don't know. I don't know these rules.
I am willing to let you have learned Gust of Wind for today, just for the sake of moving the old plot along.
That's very sweet of you.
Okay, so let's deal with Norman jumping off the side of the boat.
Okay.
Yeah, don't gust that wind while I'm in the water, lady.
You got it, gnome.
So I take a running leap, a big step on the rail, get some decent air, cannonball styles, sploosh through the glassy surface of the water. And while I'm underwater, I open my eyes, and can I see anything?
Okay, first of all, we have to imagine the slow motion of Norman jumping off the side, and the sun behind him, so he's silhouetted, and there's some camera refraction onto the lens. You sploosh into the water. You open your eyes. First of all, the water is really cold. It's a very deep bay, and so that takes your breath away. But seeing as you can breathe underwater, doesn't seem to be impacted at all. The underneath the surface of the water looks kind of like you would expect. Looking up, though, you can see this reflection effect. Like it's actually now reflecting back at you. Like you can see, given enough time for the ripples to fade away, you can see your reflection looking back at you from the surface of the water. And I'd like you to make a wisdom saving throw for me, please.
Sure thing.
Because those are always fun.
Here we go. 13 plus something. 15.
15? For the briefest of moments, it doesn't look like you, but clearly that was just a trick of the light.
What does it
And
look
reflection?
Looks like you, but you didn't look like the expression you were giving for a second there.
They're like you in a carnival mirror?
No, it's like you in a dream mirror. Have you guys ever looked at yourself? We've already talked about lucid dreaming and how I'm a huge lucid dreamer. Have you guys ever looked at yourself in the mirror in a dream? It's so weird because your brain is desperately trying to keep up with what you're doing, but it can't because it's not as rapid. So you do something and your mirror self cannot match it identically. And that's how you sometimes know that you're in a dream. Fun little fact, if you try to look for a mirror and you find one, you're not going to be yourself.
Interesting.
We are in a dream right now.
Well, to sync your theory, to allow me to move the metaphor back to where Norman is, he can see his reflection.
And now
something seemed off for a moment.
Something seemed off for a moment.
But his reflection's doing all the right things.
Yes.
And I'm looking at the hull of the ship. The ship looks fine.
Yep. Looks like you're no boat engineer or nothing, but it looks like what you'd expect it to look like, yeah. And you see fish in the distance. You see a shark approaching, friendly shark.
So the ocean looks otherwise as it should, normal. Everything's fine except for this reflection on the surface.
Yep, exactly.
All right, so I pop back up, even though I don't need the air, and I go, hey gang, the water's cold, but, anybody else want to jump in?
I do.
Fine.
Nim doesn't trust his ability to analyze things properly, so she does a little...
Okay, but as soon as she goes, I tie her up right before she jumps off, just to be safe.
Al, what's your
not a
armor
swimmer,
class?
It's a good call.
15.
Yep, shark bites you.
Ah, shit.
Okay, never mind.
Excuse me while I look up shark just to see how much damage it's going to do. Oh, that's not super
And
bad.
we're yanking him up already, right?
Yeah.
he's biting at his feet. Like,
Can Tergar turn into a shark yet?
he's certainly watching a lot of special behaviors that sharks are capable of at this
true.
point.
You take 12 points of damage as it gnaws on your leg, and you're like,
Great.
yeah. Ah! Blood morphs in the water, and the shark goes wild.
Can we like pull Norman up now?
Yes, you can.
Okay, great.
And you pull his leg up along with him. It's probably fine.
Perfect. Tergar, can he turn into a sea creature? Shark
Now
or
I have
bigger?
7 toes.
Yeah.
It was you all along.
I win the bet.
You won the bet. He can turn into sea creatures, I think, at this level now. So yes, I will say
anything
that he's,
bigger than a shark?
well, I think it's shape changing in D&D is weird. It goes by challenge ratings, but anyway, all that to say that yeah, he can spend some time thinking about and sort of examining the shark and communing with it. And
Certainly would.
oh yeah, would anybody like to take a stab at doing Dan as he describes how he's communing with the shark?
Christine, you haven't yet.
Sure. Excuse me, little shark. Look me in the eye as I look you in yours. No, this side. No, I know your eyes are on. Please, just face one direction and I'll look in one eye of yours and it'll be fine. Okay, thank you. Now we're going to commune. What that means, I'll leave it up in the air.
Beautiful.
Yep, that was good.
Oh,
well
Jordan,
done.
you missed
well done.
it, but he did an applause
Yeah.
sound.
Cool. So we'll inform Dan that Tergar now knows how to turn into a shark.
Gonna love that.
He's going to be very happy that he wasn't here for this. So cool. What else would you like to do?
Sure, can we do what you said to blow the thing?
Yeah.
Arcane, whatever. Let's get out of here. Let's blow this top
So
stand.
let me see what it says. This is from Noonteka's spell book. It's called Gust of Wind. It says a line of strong wind 60 feet long and 10 feet wide blasts from you in a direction you choose for a whole minute. But it's only good for a minute. But hey, we'll move somewhere for a single minute. Doesn't say how fast the wind's blowing. I guess that's up to interpretation. So we can make it rocket speed if we'd like. It does say that every creature is going to move 15 feet away from me. So maybe we only move 15 feet in that span of a minute. I'm not sure.
Very productive.
Yeah. I'm going to suggest that it does have the ship has a huge amount of weight compared to a person. I'm going to suggest it does move the ship. It doesn't move it. Like, it fills the sails, the crew goes, huzzah, and then the sails sort of flutter and fade and then stop, and the ship comes to a bit of a halt within, the 60 seconds that the spell is active.
Well, I'm going to go do Arcane Recovery because I've used 3 spell slots, and it's not even 7:30 in the morning. I'll be right back.
There's a light clapping, by the way, as you get the spell.
She stomps away with her finger in the air like, I'll be right back.
So, needless to say, the crew starts muttering, and they're like, well, I mean, this happens, sometimes you just be calmed. It happens. It doesn't last forever. I mean, the wind comes back. I guess I'm kind of channeling Dan now, too. I'll see if I can roll into it. Doesn't last forever. I mean, sometimes the wind just comes back, and,
Most realistic impression, I think.
That
of
was
the back.
so good. How come we call ourselves the improvisers?
Oh,
This
please.
guy's killing it.
So, the day goes on, and not a rustle fills the sails. And Farstrider eventually goes over to Glonda and says, "So look, this, you can add this into your little book there. But sometimes your ships be calmed, and you just got to keep the crew active. You got to keep them motivated. So I suggest we break out some barrels and listen." Wait to see when the wind comes back. If we're lucky, it won't be long. He looks around before he's...
An enchantment. It's not like the wind has just, like, via nature and natural reasons left us, Captain Fartrider. It is specifically because a demon has prevented us from moving forward. I do not appreciate your decision to open up Bear. I am suspecting you, Captain, of hedonism right now.
Okay, he's looking at you as you launch into him, and you slowly become aware of all the crew having stopped what they're doing. You know, coiling rope, filling sails, swapping the deck, and looking straight at you. And they've got a look on their faces like, what? And Farstrider looks at this and he looks at you and goes, that's a fine tale she just told there. Oh yes, enchantment indeed. You know the winds, boys, they come and go. They'll be back tomorrow. We've just got to keep busy.
And she catches what he's doing and kind of goes, but like really lays it on because she's doing it fakely rather than really. But then it's like, you're right, let's go somewhere more private and make more comments. But she gets it. Yeah.
So he gives you a look like, what did you just do? And then let's go. He takes you to the captain's quarters.
She didn't know she was saying this in front of a whole bunch of people, DM, but fine, that's fair.
Well, I do note that on your character sheet, it is mentioned that she's oblivious to certain social situations.
Correct.
So I thought we'd roll into that.
Hence
yeah. Good. So a lot of you come into Farstrider's cabin, which I imagine Jojandron may still be in, finishing his 4th day of journaling, or starting into his 4th day of journaling. Do you want to maybe describe what some of that journaling looks like, Jordan?
My dearest Alona, I love you. You are so pretty. I think you're just the greatest god of the whole wide world, etc.
So you're like a 9-year-old boy. Oh, that's so cute.
Deep reflection.
Pretty deep. So the captain and the rest of your party come in, and he looks at you and says, "All right, you think this is some kind of demonic enchantment that's got us stalled here?"
Yes. Now it's very clear that Brazit was entirely taking over the island that we were just visiting. Isn't that right, the crew? The rest of us? I'm not speaking only on my own. Okay,
right.
Right.
I was there. I remember.
Norman's like still dripping, covered in like some blanket, just like causing a pool of water to fill up in the captain's quarters. Yes, and this is clearly an enchantment of some kind, or an illusion rather. Perhaps we are moving. It's just, there's magic at play here, and I don't think it's reasonable to let the crew think otherwise.
By the way, Norman is still dripping blood from his shark wound. Is anybody doing anything about that? Or are you just going to sit in silence?
He'll be able to heal over a long rest. I'm not going to...
You'll be fine.
Because we're not going anywhere.
He looks at you and says, I agree that the water being like that is very strange. It's sure, I would believe it to be magical, but the wind? I mean, I've never seen anything like that. I mean, I've seen the wind be calmed, but to be calmed by magic? I mean, I'm no magician, but...
It's not the wind that is enchanted, right, John? You did not see the sky being enchanted. Or illusion. It's the water.
No, I didn't see the sky being enchanted, but that eliminated the possibility that the wind is being controlled by some sort of magic.
Oh yeah, wait. She goes outside briefly, I feel like the captain's quarters is right here.
Legit.
Right? So we walk right out here, and she just like takes Petrie, and just like, well, Petrie's a little bit too heavy. Well, she lets take Petrie, and she gets Petrie to like have their wings right out, so in case and just whips her into the air.
Okay. What sound does Petrie make when whipped? That sounds legit. So, Petrie flaps her little Petrie wings and flies. Like, there is still air pressure.
But does much like any bird,
yes.
is she, or any winged animal,
Yeah, fair.
they are impacted by wind. Is she?
You put your consciousness into Petrie, and you can detect that there is no wind pressure. No wind is hitting Petrie. Flapping her wings is the only way that she is able to fly.
So there is literally no wind. It's the water is an illusion. Something about an illusion. The sky is not under an enchantment, but there is no wind.
Well, there's no clouds either, if that matters.
Oh my god, we are in a dream!
If we are in a dream, then who is the dreamer?
Does anyone have a spinning top? Someone needs to die, and then they'll wake up.
I just got bit by a shark.
Feels pretty freaking real. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right. It needs to just be a jolt, right? That's true.
I slapped Joe John Duran real hard, just in the spirit of trying to wake people up.
Okay, he is 3 feet taller than him.
Sword and I slice across Norman. Just a reaction.
How did that happen?
Roll
initiative, everybody.
Reflex. No, that didn't happen.
Okay. Well, the slap and I imagine that Norman probably had to ask Joe Jondron to bend over so that he could tell him something real important. And then.
So wait, Norman just said, bend over so I can slap you?
No, he said bend over. I have something very important to tell you.
Okay, so I bend over, but I do it. I bend my butt.
No, I stood on a chair.
Well, anyway, the slap from Norman felt pretty damn real.
But
do you want one,
there are
Dan?
no cloud. The atmosphere. Yes, I do.
Are you? You
but
do?
Remember,
okay.
My hit points are incredibly low, so use about a third of your power, please.
All right. Great.
Oh!
Are you awake?
Yes, I feel so alive. Oh,
then look, the wind is picking up. And the ocean's normal again.
Wow.
Well, that didn't wake us up from what we thought was a dream, which was why we were doing that.
Okay. Glenda, you want one?
Maybe we should zone of truth ourselves and ask if we're in a dream.
Oh, the meta. It's so good.
I know. Can we lie if we say?
Am I in a dream? No. Yes. I don't know.
I don't think I'm in a dream. That's the way around it.
Well, I slapped Terragar a couple times just to be sure.
What? Why? I oughta. He also doesn't wake up, or at least he doesn't wake up from a dream that he's not in.
So, all right, we just play the waiting game.
Yeah.
We literally have no ideas.
Yeah.
Maybe engage in some hedonism while we're waiting around. Is that a thing?
Well, that's
happening?
it.
Totally
It's just tricky because we know that there's an illusion going on. We know that now. Okay, school of illusion. That means, I mean, what does can I do a check on what we know that means about an illusion spell? Like, whether or not we know that means that the water is currently not real, not really like that. Like, what does Nim know about a School of Illusion spell and what that could mean for our current situation?
I don't know if you have any illusion spells.
I don't, but I'm a
Yeah,
smarty
no,
pants.
it's not to say that you wouldn't know what they do.
I do.
Okay, well, in conversation with Glonda, you would know that you can just create a fabrication of the mind, and to all appearances, it's real, but it's not actually there. So that would clearly explain why the water is reflective. Like if does Glonda have the minor illusion spell? Yeah.
It's a cantrip.
Yeah, exactly. So like
I'll do it right now.
Exactly. So what was the minor? What do you cast? What is your minor illusion? Kind of broke there for a second.
I can create a sound or image of an object within a range that lasts for 1 minute. It ends if I dismiss it or cast a spell or do something else. If I do a sound, its volume can range from a whisper to a scream. It can be my voice, somebody else's voice, a lion's roar, a beating of drums, or any sound I choose. Sound continues unabated throughout the duration, or I can make discrete sounds at different times before it ends. If I make an image, like a chair, muddy footprints, whatever, it can't be bigger than a 5-foot cube.
So the thing that gets you is if this is an illusion, then the scope of it is incredible because your use of illusion is very, very finite.
It's in the name that it's minor.
Exactly.
So. What if I created a minor illusion within this illusion? That's crazy.
It's very meta.
So we know that this demon. Well, we think we don't actually know, but we think that Grazit is the one doing this. We think he has stopped the wind and made the water reflective. He doesn't need to make the water reflective. That's my weird part. Is if you can stop the wind, why make the water reflective? Am I looking too deep into this? Okay, Joe John decided to just piece out. That's fine.
This is too meta for him. Give him a good zone of truth, and he's there.
Like,
if you're discussing,
because the water is not just mirror still. Like if it was naturally calm, the water wouldn't be that reflective. Like it is supernatural.
Yeah.
Maybe I should jump back in.
Jordan reports his internet has just gone down.
Okay.
Yep. He's back to journaling.
Yes, that is. He's like, "Hi, guys." Anyway, please continue, and I'll just tell him that that's cool, and if he can come back, then cool.
What do we do at this point? Like, what does the captain just thinks we should get the whole crew drunk and let them not worry? But that's
Seconded.
Very much that. No, that's into Grazit's hands.
Well, I'm out of ideas.
So, okay. So we're not asleep.
That has been established, yeah.
We're on the ship. We're not moving.
Right. There's no wind.
It's nighttime.
No, it's like
morning. It is morning. I got confused when we talked about being asleep.
Understood.
I want to do something, but I don't know what.
Well, I'm going to go back below decks, show off my newly found lost toes, and collect on a bet.
But he only had 8, not 7.
I'm getting
no, but I now have 7
Ah!
because the shark bit them off. So jokes on them.
Gross.
I'm nervous about Farstrider
Because of his requests.
I feel like he could be in on it.
Because he was like, let's get everybody drunk.
Yeah, and because he keeps saying, "Oh, it's just wind. Wind will pick up."
Well, Farstrider, you are aware that we think Grazit currently has our ship and potentially the entire ocean under his grasp?
You sort of having the conversation with him. He flits in and out. He goes to check on the crew. He's back there from time to time to see if you've come up with the solution. He says, it's an interesting theory. I just don't know how that helps us.
How does thinking that's not the case help us?
Well, do you have a solution that you can whip out to solve this problem?
Do you?
This would be the first time that this has happened. So no, I don't have anything in the captain's handbook for dealing with demonic stopping of the wind.
Right, now that is true for us as well. You see, we're all in the same pickle. We're all equals here. It's just that it's clearly magical. It's most likely a demon. And so that's the direction we need to be thinking for solutions. So allowing our crew to drink and no longer become potentially able to combat a demon and their various helpers, I think is a poor idea.
I am all open to the idea. I am a man of few words and outrageous actions from time to time. If we had something that we can do, I would be first to say, let us do it.
Okay.
But sometimes this does happen. The winds be calm. And that is why we carry the provisions that we do, so that we can withstand time at sea and wait for the wind to return.
How long does it typically last in non-magic scenarios?
I can go for days. It shouldn't go for more than a week. It would be strange if it went for more than a week.
Yes?
Is enchantments and charms different?
Nimralian would know that a charm makes a person do something that they don't necessarily want to do. They might become your friend if they were formerly your enemy, that kind of thing. An enchantment, though, it could be... it could put someone to sleep. It changes their state. So it could put somebody to sleep. It could, but it's not an illusion. It could change their form. Could
technically charm person is an enchantment.
Exactly. So they fall under the same school, but
so what if it was mind influencing effects? Would we consider what is happening right now something under that umbrella?
Well, we're all not you guys aren't glowing when Jojo did his Jojo's back.
Yay.
When Jojo did his detect magic, y'all weren't glowing.
That's right.
Which would make it clear that you guys aren't under an enchantment per se.
Okay. I have a ability. So I just wanted to know if I could use it.
What is the ability?
Counter charm.
Counter charm. Yeah, I don't know if anybody is currently charmed.
Also, Tergar is suggesting that if he can turn into a shark, he can rally some shark buddies and maybe tow the ship.
Okay,
if we throw a rope overboard. Although I don't know. I don't know the results of that.
Love this.
Could he do? Well, the problem would be the chicken and egg thing. He'd have to turn into the shark to find the other sharks, but when he's in shark form, he can't cast the spells to do animal friendship. So you'd have to somehow have a whole bunch of sharks around you that he could make friends with, and then you'd have to have the ropes to...
Should we dangle Norman off again? Or maybe just
it's true.
Drip some of the blood out of your leg and attract them?
It would attract some sharks, yeah. But would they be friendly? I don't know.
Well, they could get charmed and become friends, and then Tergar will go, hell yeah! And then he'll jump in the water.
Oh, so we track the sharks to the boat, and then while Tergar is still Tergar, he charms them and then hops in as a shark, joins them.
I mean,
I think the GM has made it clear he doesn't want this to be the way we go, but I'm still down because I'm done with that type of meta-analysis. I've never got published on any of these meta-analyses. They're not worth my time.
But also, I literally don't know what else we could do unless we're just saying, we're going to wait until something happens, and then you say 3 days later, Kraken attacks the ship.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't like being a literal sitting duck.
Yeah.
Fair. I do love the shark gambit. I will shortcut it to say that something happens in such that it fails. Trust me, you won't be shipbound on the waters forever. Yeah, let's go with Christine's idea that 3 days later, boom. So you are out there for a couple of days waiting for the wind to come back. I would like you all to give me 3 wisdom saving throws, please, because...
3 each?
Yep.
Good Lord. And there's no way that we can get advantage on this because we know it's coming. Like, at this point, Nim knows.
No.
Okay, I accept fully. You said these are wisdom?
They are.
Oh,
yeah.
I did really well. Holy.
Oh, wait, do you want a total or what do you want?
Separately. So basically, what's your lowest one?
My lowest is 14.
14?
Oh, my lowest is still above 20. I rolled really well.
You did.
13.
13. Jordan is either
Jordan's
frozen
face.
in fear or...
His face is not positive.
Joe John's lowest is
Pardon me.
3 plus something.
6, yeah.
6? All right. All right. As the days go on, and just... Jordan, your face.
That you're not frozen and that you're actively...
It looks pretty frozen now.
Oh gosh, Andrew got a nat 20. What does
Well,
that
that's
mean?
I was rolling for Tergar actually, and he's got plus
Okay.
8.
Oh, okay,
Lowest
great
was
job.
11.
Great job, Tergar. Whew.
Okay. As the days go on, you continue to have some very active and unpleasant dreams. In Nim's case, she again has some encounters directly with Grazit. She's Dan is now texting us.
He's watching the stream.
So, yeah, definitely you have made the connection and you wake up after what appears to be a very turbulent sleep. So much so that you are not getting long rests. You are not getting exhaustion, but you are not able to otherwise benefit from having a long rest. So, however, that is not the case for Brooke because she rolled all of her saves. And also because she's such a smarty, she is able to also engage with Grazit during these obvious plaything dream attempts that he's intercepting your dreams. Maybe we'll just go through one of those right now, Brooke. So, you're having the beginnings of what appears to be your standard stress dream of your books are falling overboard, the leaves are blowing away, and you do that thing where you're like, nope, stop, and then they all immediately freeze in the air.
Nim opens up a little, looks at a shard of glass and is like, see, I'm in a dream. Not reflecting properly.
So Grazit, in his 8-foot form, is lounging in a luxurious chair on the forecastle, and it's exactly what it looks like. Yeah. It is exactly like it's been. It is oddly, he is illuminated as if it is sunlight, but it is a night scene behind. And he looks at you with a quite the grin on his face, and he says, "Having a bit of boat trouble, are we?"
Why do do you play with such meager mortals when you have the divine power of being an ethereal demon?
Interesting you should use those words.
Beautiful
But to answer your
sentence.
question, I play with you because you are worthy of being played with.
Please! You're a demon! It could never work!
Says, well, I'm willing to try if you are.
Oh my gosh!
You hedonistic bastard!
I could show you such things as you have never dreamed of.
What is your end goal, my dear?
Why, I merely want what everybody else wants on your world and my plane. The freedom to do what we wish. I have such things to show your world.
You want to cross the ethereal plane and enter into this world and wreak havoc upon it.
Those are your words, not mine.
Thank you. They're very well spoken, aren't they?
Yes, of course.
Well, why have you not yet done it?
Well, that must be my secret, mustn't it?
Why? Why would you keep a young lady like me in the dark about such things? You see my weakness. I'm clearly a weakling. Ooh, have you seen my hit points? They're incredibly low.
Yes, I have seen your hit points. They are very low.
Yes. That was not my choice.
Well, maybe one day we will be able to discuss such things in person, as opposed to over this realm of dreams.
AOL, as you will. Well, I would prefer for that not to happen, but as I understand it, I have no way of preventing it. So I will be ready.
Indeed, as I will be. I have some other visits to make this eve with your friends.
Oh, you're not so powerful to be doing them all at once?
Oh, I am. But I like to give them the personal touch. You know, add that little something to their dreams.
You naughty, naughty demon.
Indeed. But I know you secretly love it.
Oh, I very much don't.
Maybe one day you will.
Grazie.
Yeah, and he like flies away. Yeah, and true to his word, everybody else has that little extra bit of sauce added to their dreams. You know, if they were stressed about being naked in class, then they're super naked.
Could you quickly describe the state of being super naked?
Yeah, it's not just, can't cover up. You know, you actually don't have arms, basically everything, Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
exactly.
Oh, that's
Normally you're
super
able to do
embarrassing.
That's
right?
super naked.
That's super naked. Yeah.
Over the past 3 days, since we haven't been long resting, can Tergar have healed me from that shark attack earlier?
Oh my god!
Oh my gosh! A celebrity guest star.
A celebrity guest.
I just realized I could actually just jump in. Paragraph
Are we
there.
getting crashed?
We're getting crashed.
Oh my gosh.
Dan, have
Gosh,
you
I've
been
heard about this happening
appreciating
on Zoom
everybody's
before.
impersonations of you? I don't know when you chimed in here.
I didn't get to. I'll have to go back and listen to them.
Brooke
Oh.
sounded like Fox.
I see.
I say, turn this man into a shark.
But we did get you a shark.
Yeah, we got you a shark.
Very good.
So, sorry, yeah, your wound is probably festering a bit now, Al. But one thing you could do is you could expend some in a short rest. You can still do that, so you can still spend some of your
Okay.
hit dice to heal.
Well, yeah, Turgar can probably heal him up. Al jumped into the water and then got bitten by a shark, so we had to pull him back.
I also have healing, but Dan's probably going to leave in a bit, so I'm going to keep my spells.
Well, and also, Dan, thanks for the 50 gold.
Oh yeah, you bought some stuff for us.
They all.
I do it normally anyway. Yeah, use one of my heal spells. I don't have my sheet or anything in front of me, but use heal wounds or I don't know which ones I have prepared.
It says here you've only got healing word. You didn't do cure wounds.
I have,
Oh, but
I have
but
cure
he's not
wounds.
here.
I can do it if we need to.
Well, I need those toes back.
But
I
then,
need
are you going to
those
lose your
toes
money?
back.
No. Oh, it's no.
The deal is done.
I mean, not because of that. I've already lost it in the subsequent days for other reasons.
Understood.
All right, we'll assume that spells have been cast to heal Al back up. I don't want anybody to lose sleep, if you don't mind
Right.
the double pun there, about him not having his toes or hit points. But on the third day, there is a bit of a waft of wind. And suddenly the sails start to fill, and there is a bit of a huzzah. This happens around 2 o'clock in the afternoon.
And which direction is the wind going?
It is going, it is an easterly wind, no
What's the
westerly, it's
temperature?
from the west. The temperature has started to drop a bit, so
Yeah.
it is now becoming a bit...
precipitation,
Easily-
barometric pressure.
It's, oh my
UV
god.
radiation.
We're at a 9. No, there's probably an ozone layer around us, so it's probably very nice. So it's easily a 6, but no, it
Wow,
is
this
starting.
place has an ozone layer. That's terrific.
I know it's
Wow.
paradise, right?
No PCPs here.
Yeah, they don't have refrigerators. So it is the wind. If you just put your sails up, would take you towards the east.
Wow. Which is where we want to go. Grazit, what are you doing? Oh, guys. So yeah, Dan, Grazit basically just has us in his grasp and he loves it.
So we're stuck in the ocean right now?
Well, no, now after 3 days of being stuck in the ocean with the mirror-like surface of the water, we're
Yeah.
now being pushed east.
We've been stuck this whole session, Dan.
Yeah, this whole session we've just been stuck. We've been sitting ducks in the water trying to do zones of truth, which have been incredibly successful, by the way.
Oh.
And detecting magic, and the water's enchanted. Tandia was enchanted, but he doesn't believe it.
Then
We
let's
spent
go.
some time in Lehman's tiny hut for no reason.
Let's go kill Grazit.
Maybe he's taking us to his, what's it called? Little temple.
So as the ship picks up speed and starts going in an easterly direction, Tandia, now we've mentioned him actually, it's topical, you should do so, for lack of a better word, freaks out. He starts screaming at the top of his lungs and starts wailing at the idea of heading east. And
Tandia's the guy that came up in a little launch that was nearly dead because he left the Wyvern, and he said that they were basically beseeching Grazit. Like, they were totally overcome by Grazit on the Wyvern.
Oh.
Which is why
And
he
he's
left.
under an enchantment right now.
But he doesn't believe that or know that.
Oh, wow. Okay.
so he starts screaming and going to each of you in turn. He's sort of grabbing you by the shoulders and saying, "We can't go this way. We must turn back. Why are you going this way?
Why do you feel this way?
They're crazy. They'll kill us all."
Who?
He's starting to make a little less sense at this point, and I would like everybody to roll perception for me.
Can I do a new portent because we're on day 3 now?
Yeah, sure. I love that idea.
Oops, I accidentally did 3. I'll just take whatever the first 2 are.
Okay,
11,
sounds good.
15. Okay.
What are we rolling?
Perception.
10.
Okay. Whatever my third one was my perception then.
Wow, I have rolled horrifically tonight.
That's
Do
true.
you want me to roll?
11.
Can you?
I can on my phone. I've got that dice thing, but I'll just let one of you do it for me.
16. You said it's perception.
I did.
16. Oh, 21 for me for my perception.
I'll roll for Dan. I don't know his.
I can tell you it is
Modifier.
+8. He's
Okay,
crazy
well, it
good.
didn't help. 11.
Dan, you rolled a 3. Why are you that bad?
Dan, get it together.
Okay, so I'm 21.
All right, so Nimrelian notices that something is happening to Tandia. His skin seems to be starting to. There's something happening with his skin. It's very subtle, but it's like he's sweating profusely, but he is also like there's something going on with that skin of his.
Can I do a medicine check on him?
Sure. Yep. He is hard. It's going to be hard. So you can roll at a disadvantage because he is not sitting still for you to do this.
Okay, well, one of my rolls is 15, and I'll roll the other one.
Okay.
How about that?
I like it. So my medicine's 5, so 12. 12? Okay, you're just able to get your hands on him and start prodding him when he pushes, he basically bats you away. First of all, he's burning up. He's got some sort of a big fever. But you can also feel, like when you put your hand on his head, the time-worn sign of medicine everywhere. You feel like there's something moving under his skin.
Oh, I hate that.
This is not a magical enchantment.
Yes, he does. We know he's under an enchantment, but now we know that there's flipping something moving under his skin.
Mm-hmm.
Do I
Andrew,
have this,
nice. That's gross.
Do I have
body horror? Which spell, Dan?
Dispel magic? Do I have that prepared?
Yeah, you actually tried to use it on him.
Yeah, we got you to try to
previously.
use it earlier, and you didn't
Okay.
work.
Great minds think alike.
Indeed.
We were thinking like Turgar is what we were doing.
Oh, you. All right, so that didn't work, eh?
No,
At
so
the time,
he
it didn't. No.
He has freaking gross things crawling under his skin, and he's clearly enchanted. That's awful. He's going to explode in a pile of maggots, you guys.
Should we just start peeling the skin off?
Yeah, let's see. What is
Bring him
it?
out.
Tried using Jojandron's lances or javelins. Sorry.
What do you want to do with one of his javelins?
Can we put him under and try to just do surgery and remove some creepy maggots that are under his skin?
I think whatever happens, we gotta. What's the best cliffhanger here? His face exploding?
Well, yeah, we're
It's not a
at 9:30, so
cliffhanger.
Yeah, you're
It
right.
explodes.
You're right. We need a cliffhanger
Yeah.
before
Well,
we go because it's 6:30 and I gotta go.
I was gonna get to that. He eventually falls to his knees, like pushing himself away from you, and is grasping at his head.
Don't forget that a cliffhanger means you don't tell us the exciting thing.
No. The cliffhanger can be the big blow because it gets you
Yeah.
to watch the next episode.
Okay,
so,
fair.
This happened
Exactly.
in Lost, and a main
All right, I
character's
accept.
skin exploded.
He
That would
doubles
make you press
over.
Play the next one.
Okay.
He doubles over, and his body seems to contort in very strange and unnatural ways. And he's only been wearing like basic robes
Oh no.
and
no.
socks and stuff, and like piercing out from his shoulders are big bony protrusions, and out from his head come two giant horns.
Oh, Grass, it's just him?
Well, you don't know because he's still wearing those robes. It's stuff that pierced out from him. And with that, we will fade to black.
How many horns? Just 2?
Well, he had 2 out of his head, but he also has some giant ones coming out of his back.
Because Grazit has 6 on his head.
Not 6.
Yeah, I had 6.
Well, Tandia doesn't have 6, and
You've gone invisible.
you've got
I know,
a-
that's because I was looking at it. He's got 6 on his head.
He does.
Oh yeah, that's the scientific
That's
drawing.
the accurate rendering.
Yeah.
Well, all I can tell you is only 2.
I'm Grazit, and I have 6 horns on my head. Right, enough.
So that's where we'll leave it tonight. Some very great comments in our chat. I love Matt's last one, in that the ozone in this world is generated by wizards casting too many lightning bolts, as well as super naked is probably when you come back to being back around to being fully clothed again. But Dan, I did like your shark idea. That was very much out of the box thinking. I was trying to think how that was going to play. Ultimately, probably it would be like, yeah, you get a great speed of like half a mile a day or something. It was
That
gonna
was
be good,
very Turgar.
but very smart. So Dan, thanks for jumping in the last sec there. That was fun.
What a gift to get to see you, buddy.
This keeps my streak alive.
Yeah, you never miss.
That's right.
Full session.
That's so true.
Yeah.
So
And how is Chikutami, Dan?
Pardon me?
How is Laval? Where are you? Chewing again?
Tell the followers.
No.
Oh, wow.
What part of the world is that?
A Motel 8 in Gatineau.
Oh, beautiful
Wow.
location for an Ottawan.
This is an interesting thing. This is, I believe, the first time that we've ever broadcast this from 3 different time zones.
Oh
Wow.
wow, that is probably correct. Yeah.
In New Brunswick, the capital of this fine and beautiful province.
C'est beau ça,
Marvelous.
l'Acadie.
Wait, c'est ça.
Well, I'm sure everybody at home doesn't want to hear us how much Dan is enjoying his vacation. So how about we'll wrap it for now and look forward to seeing you all next time.
Great DMing, Andrew.
Oh, thanks. Great playing, everybody. We'll look forward to doing it again soon.
Thanks for the comments, y'all.